This could take a while. I'm going to share with you the layouts I have been creating in response to Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and this is series 7, and this is the first one that I have sort of been a part of, and I'm pleased to say as of yesterday, which here in New Zealand was the 30th of March, I have completed the 30 layouts based on the sketches that were given. So the first sketch was this one here, and I worked on this layout in response to that sketch at a scrapbook day down in Invercargill. So some cricket cuts there, I sort of got some shapes and welded them together. The title was cut out from some glitter paper, and I also backed this cut file here from, again, the cricket with some vellum just to add a bit of interest and some splatters, and I have inked up some wooden embellishments on there too. This was layout number 2. This was quite an interesting one. I found this quite challenging. I'm not normally one that has sort of bits dangling down from the top, but I am pleased with what came out and enjoyed the process of putting something like this together. So again, I have inked up some of the wooden shapes, and this in the background here is a stencil, and I mixed some texture paste with some of the acrylic gloss sprays for those, so they're actually got a bit of, they feel quite cool when you touch them. Stripy layout, there was quite a few strip layouts in this this set of sketches, and I did find that quite tricky, but I am really pleased with what came out. So I love this wood grain paper, some nice gloss, some of the Dinah Wakely gloss sprays in the back. I've pulled out one of my old stitching stamps, another cricket cut here, some wood embellishments, and I enjoyed using the Cricut Joy a lot for this project because it's so simple and easy to have. So because it's so little, I kind of don't often scrap in a scrap room or a scrap space, so I pull stuff out to the table, and at camps and things this is perfect. Great way to use up lots of scrap papers there as well from your stash. So there's a hexagon layout. I recently had purchased and used a thin cut from Close to My Heart with lots of different sized hexagons. So instead of keeping them all a uniform size like the sketch, I mixed it up, and it's quite interesting looking at this paper now. One of my last 2 layouts has this paper in the background as well. And so this was a Picture My Life card that I cut down around the around the words to lift it out a bit, to add some interest, some older stamps there as well. But these stitched hexagons are awesome because they've just got quite a bit of cool texture in there as well. This layout here, it was another one. It was quite challenging for me. It felt a little bit bitsy, but I quite liked the little clusters that I was able to create onto this page. Some more wooden embellishments and a little bit of paper tearing up here to match the cluster that's sort of shown up here, and some torn paper pieces to use up some of my stash there as well. This layout here I spun around, and you will see that there. So I have played with that, and instead of it being sort of a floral or classic with this pattern in the background, it became sort of a natural earthy layout with some wooden shapes and some stamps up there, more stamps down there just to tie things in together. Now this layout here, I changed the title from the word love into camp and used it to scrapbook a recent scrapbook camp that we had locally. I have used Distress Oxides to colour in the flowers, and the title I actually cut from the cardstock on the Cricut using, I think, the Artistry font by Close to My Heart, and you can sort of see how I've just stuck the pattern papers on the back there for it to be through, and I outlined it in black to help it stand out a bit more. This layout here was lots of fun. I really enjoyed putting this one together using the dark background, some splatters, the sequins and the little dots and things, as well as I used a couple of cricket cuts. I think I found a sunshine one to create the rays there, and cut a couple of them out and then just layered it around the back. And the title is cut on the cricket as well using some silver glitter paper. These were some older embellishment pieces from a kit, and I typed the the journaling there using my We Are Memory Keepers typewriter. This one here is probably one of my favorite layouts in this collection, other than that last one I just showed you. I loved the texture in it, and I actually adored this waterfall walk that I went on with my daughter. So this is using a stencil up here, and I just can't remember the name of the stencil at the moment. I will try and add it to the notes, and I put some coloured texture paste through it there, and I just cut some random triangles for a banner and some pen stitching, lots of the sprays and things there. I'm not sure if you can see the texture that comes out with that cool handwriting one there, but that was lots of fun. And some of the safari embellishments. Title was stamped. Now this one was quite it was kind of a graphic design, and I do find graphic designs quite tricky. It felt sort of masculine, so I scrapbooked a layout of my son and his car that he's been slowly getting on the road, and I inked up the edge with black soot, distress oxide as well. And this paper here is a silver paper on a black background. I think it was for Magical Collection from Close to My Heart last year. And here's another one here, and I kind of changed it around the angle of it. I might change, let me see, how does that work? Yep, like that. So I flipped it just around 90 degrees and put that together. So there's some gold paper with some splatters, gold glitter paper for the title, cut again on the joy with a bit of the thread in the background there. Another kind of strip or banner layout. Again, I have used it. I didn't do the rounded edges and things, but I kind of created it a little bit myself. It didn't have a space for journaling on here, so I added my own. Love the tech. I think it's the wood grain that helps this one stand out. So now we're moving in through, and I got out some of the gloss sprays, and so if you spray it along the top and then let it dribble down, you get this sort of dribble down effect back here. Pulled out an old title from something else. Again, it's my son playing with his car. Tore up some of these papers that I have a pizza box full of sort of scraps and odds and ends and smaller pieces, and so I used some of those. Fussy cut this out from a Picture My Life card, I think, or it could have been from the pattern paper, and used the Bluebell, which is the colour of the year, pearl dots on there as well. Here is another page that I have sort of used pretty much as per the sketch. Putting the journaling around the outside, some paint splatters in the background, which you can sort of see here. Photos are different sizes, but the titles and things are still in the same place. And these are stars, and I think they've got the Kitsch Flamingo colour on them, Distress Oxide, to colour those up to match sort of that happy title that I found in my leftover stickers. Another really hard layout for me, because I think it's that graphic spaced design that I find tricky. But what I love about doing things like the sketch challenge is sort of stepping outside that comfort zone and doing things a little bit different, and then it means that you've got ideas and other ways of doing things at other times. So I used some of the Picture My Life cards here with some photos teamed up, some of the strips, and I cut the title again on the Cricut Joy. This one, I found a lot of the layouts sort of for a bit had these kind of banners in them, and I created this one from that. These are a blossom stamp that's a new current one with Close to My Heart. This is an older stamp set, and then lots of the scrap pieces of paper were used here to put the background in with a black border paper there. So this one here, quite like that sort of that it's not in the center, but it's tucked up there. I put the page together, which is very similar in design, used stars instead of butterflies and things, and torn paper sticker that I found instead of sort of the scallop borders from this sketch. Fun putting it together. This stamp match is part of the set from these ones as well that I'd pre-coloured and just was able to pull them out and stick them on the page. This was rather yellow in the end, what I created, but I actually really like what it came out with. And the stickers, the colours, cricket cards, a title I found on one of my sticker sheets, more stickers and things like that, and some heart stamps that I found, and some glitter feathers in there that fits with the Bible verse that I pulled in for that, the journaling in there. Family friends that we catch up with each year, which has been wonderful. Here is another sketch. I love the look of this one, and I think I kind of recreated it my own twist, but put it together fairly close to what it originally was. Tiny little bit of journaling, the dates tucked in here. I put some glitter paper in behind the wooden flowers, just so that it's got that kind of cool center look in there. And enjoy that. More stickers and things tucked around the edge. So we're getting through it now. I'm over halfway. Lots of hexagons came out again. So you saw some hexagons earlier on, and they were there as well. Sprays in the background. This piece of cardstock was actually a play piece that we'd done some distress oxide work and blending and things at a camp, and I just pulled that out and thought, right, I'm going to use that as the base, and I did, and that's what came out of there. That is, I think, a Cricut cut file from Access membership. So this was another graphicsy layout, and when I looked at it, I was like, really? Because again, these triangles and things just didn't do it for me. However, I pulled that out and used some texture paste through a stencil that I found, and I mixed in some of the glitter gel here to give it a little bit more of a slightly different color. You can see some espresso shimmer brush has been splattered on there. There's sort of some stamped texture for that out and about kind of thing. This cut file is from Confessions of a Paper Addict, which you can find on Etsy. And title again was cut on the Cricut Joy, some random stickers. Moving on through, loved the look of this one, and I enjoyed what I came out with as a response to that sketch. So printed some photos on my Instax printer. This sort of waves cut file was from Confessions of a Paper Addict. I found some of the close to my heart stencils that I'd mixed texture paste and glitter gel with and pushed them through a stencil in the background, as well as the smooshing technique. This is the Bluebell glitter paper, colour of the year, tucked in here. Plus, I think these were might be the Bluebell sequins that I've put through some of the waves there, as well as the odd few dots, but love that page. This is another page that I really like. It's kind of a cool design. Instead of stars, I ended up making it into hearts, and I found a scribbled heart from Confessions of a Paper Addict as well. And did I mention that cut file here was also from Confessions of a Paper Addict? So I used a rainbow, some rainbow pieces there. And I think that was another Cricut cut for this one. Later on you'll see a thin cut that I've used. Coloured the hearts in a couple of different pinks, and I used one of our older, might be Bashful or Ballerina pink glitter papers for that title, and there's some acrylic gloss sprays in the background as well. Oh, and there's the odd wee acrylic pink heart mixed into that lot too. This is using one of my favorite collections. This is Daisy Meadows, and it's a current one with close to my heart. I just love the soft colors of these, and this is a current mix-in paper. Lots of layering in here, the flowers and things from the sticker sheets. I think I did a process video for this one as well, so you can find that on my channel. Distressed edges, stickers, some shimmer brush splots in the background there too. Another layout, this had lots of photos. I didn't put lots of photos, I used two. So I used here a stencil by Confessions of a Paper Addict, and I put Distress Oxide, blended them through it for these different shades across the background, stuck them to the paper, stripped journaling, typed it, more coloured hearts, and lots of the layering there and leftover stickers and bits and pieces. I added some pen round just to define the edge a little bit. More hexagons. This is the third kind of hexagon layout, but I really enjoyed this one. I used some texture paste through a stencil in the background here. I'd mixed that with a little bit, I'm not sure, must have been one of the blue or green Distress Oxides, and I added some splatters on top as well. These were a thin cut that came out last year, the pinwheel one, some leftover stickers and bits and pieces, and lots of scrap papers tucked in there. This one here was pretty cool. I cut out some circles on the cricket. I sort of designed some circles, put them in place. I put 9 of them there, centralized them. I've added some pewter dots around to look like stitching, and it's fits with the layout, the kind of cream, the laziness of it, that I've added the sloth, and I've just added some of the fruit and vegetables, well, not vegetables, fruit and berries, and some ice cream and things around here. She loves her cream. This, we're getting near the end, we're down to the last couple. This was fun to put together. Love this paper, and it was great to be able to use it. I've used a bit of fluoro acrylic paint and some black gesso in the background here. Thin cuts by Confessions of a Paper Addict. So there's these two are the same thin cut, and here's a different one, and I've just sort of layered them in behind there. Adventure was from an older cardstock sticker set that I had there. And we're moving through. So this is this layout here. Love the square, the cut down, the torn look of it, and just put that together. A few banners and things from my scrap collections. And we're at the last page here. I wasn't doing Christmas. It's not Christmas anymore. However, loved the kind of the design, and I pulled that out to use some of our rainbows across the center instead of the circles, and I've got some texture paste ones in the background there. I'm not sure if you can, oh yeah, you can sort of see that in the video, so you can see the texture that I pushed through. So these were cut out of pattern bits of paper, and from the sort of the negative piece, I put that down, and then I smeared the texture paste through that in a few different spots around it before spraying it, adding some drops of the acrylic spray and tucking things in and around. So that was 30 days of layouts with Christy's Beautiful Life, and really enjoyed the challenge, and I'd thoroughly recommend going and having a look at some of the sketch series that are there and giving it a go. Thanks if you're watching this, Christy. I appreciated the challenge and the chance to get my teeth into something a bit different.